How's it going, everybody? This is Kyle from the UI Playbook coming back at you with another video. This is going to be my updated version of Shadow Soldiers, or the Shadow Army Affinity deck. After some playtesting and talking to some friends, I did a lot of changing with the deck, and yeah, I figured might as well showcase what I'm kind of landing on with the deck as of now. Alright, with that being said, as always, I typically start off with the zeros, so that's what we're going to do right now. So starting things off, I'm running 10 Shadow Armies. The card states a deck can contain up to 12 copies of this. Number 1, it is a draw trigger. 0 drop produces you 1 energy, but what it does is when played, if you have another Shadow Army Affinity card on your field, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, place up to 1 Shadow Army Affinity card or 1 Sung Jinu card into your silent, place remaining cards on top of your deck in 80 order. This is a filtration. It's a Shadow Army Affinity, which really does matter in this deck, as we'll get into that in a little bit. And then to round off the zeros, I'm running 2 of the 0-drop Sung Jin Woo. It's a add to hand. It's a 0-drop, produces you 1 energy. And, you know, in my very first list, I said just ignore them. And then I found reasons as to why you should not ignore running 2 of these. But yeah. So that rounds it out. We're running technically a total of 12 zeros. Alright, moving on to the 1-drops. We're just only running 2 currently, and that is 2 Tank. It is a 1-drop, produces 1 energy, has Nullify Impact, and has a great trigger of Activate Main, gives something plus 3k. This card actually really puts in a lot of work against like a lot of decks like Kenshin and Spear for Evangelion. So yes, I think this card is absolutely good. In fact, I'm debating on increasing him back up to 4, and quite frankly. But as of right now, there's just 2 copies. Alrighty, so that rounds out the 1-drops. There's 2. For the 2-drops, I am currently running 6. And starting off here, there is 4 of this 2-drop Sung Jin Woo, which is a pseudo 0. If you have no cards in your field, this character gets reduced by 2 energy requirement. And then he is a 3k restand, is a Sung Jin Woo, is 2k, and produces you 1 energy. And when he gets played, look at the top card of the deck, you can place it on top of the deck or into your sideline. So you get to pitch something you don't like, or keep something you like. Very good. And then the last 2-drop, which makes 6, and that's 2 Iron. It has no trigger, is a 3k plus, produces you 1 energy. It's a cost of 1 action as well. So what this card states, during your turn, for each Shadow Army Affinity card on your field with 2500 or less BP on your field, this character gains 500. So you're going to see something in there, and if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but I believe there's another card in the deck, because it just states with 2500 or less BP and Shadow Army, so I do believe there's a certain card in the set, or in this deck, that still constitutes and gives it the buff. But yes, we're running 2 of that. He can become a very big boy out of nowhere, can deal with blockings, can do a lot of damage, can force stuff to happen. Very good as a 2-up. Again, he is something I'm just considering cutting to go back up to 4 of the tanks. It's impossible, not guaranteed. Alright, that rounds up the 2-drops. Moving on to the 3-drops. Alright, there's quite a bit of them in this deck. Starting things off, we're running 4 of the color Sung Jin Woo. He's a 3-1, produces you 2 energy, and is your color. Color states play up to 1 purple character, tier less energy, and 1 AP for my sideline set to active on my field, so that can grab back an Iron, can grab back a Tank, can grab back a whole bunch of things. But when he's played, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, we're up to 1 Sung Jin Woo, 1 Shadow Army Affinity card, and add it to your hand. To place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So it helps you dig, is giving you 2 energy, and as a color trigger, phenomenal. Oh, by the way, he is a raid target, so even better. Really good. Really good. And then moving on to the Shadow Army cards, I am running... What the heck happened here? Give me 1 second, everybody. 3 Kaisel. Kaisel states, it's very good, produces you 2 energy, it's a 3k restand, but this is where it really shines. So what it states is a Shadow Army. What it states is when one of your Shadow Army cards, affinity cards, has 2000 or less BP attacks, you may switch this active character to resting. If you do, choose one of the following. You can choose one of the abilities on Kaisel if you haven't chose the other one this turn. So you can only choose one of each. So if you used Kaisel before, you can't one of the Kaisel abilities, you can't do it again on the other Kaisel. So just keep that in mind. But what that does is you can choose up to one attacking character. This character cannot be blocked by a character of 4,000 or more BP until the end of turn. Or you can choose up to one attacking character. Against this character cannot be chosen by opponent's abilities until the end of turn. So a special couldn't target it, stuff like that. Stun down, color trigger, can't target that card. So yes, Kaisel is very, very good. Alright. Also, produces 2 energy. Also, Shadow Army. Very good. Moving on to the next one, we're running 3 Tusk. Tusk states, it's 2 energy, 3k restand, just as Kaisel is. But this one's interesting too, it has the same effect where you can't choose the same ability twice. So what his abilities state is you can choose up to one attacking character, you can choose 2,000 or less base BP character, and it can either gain 1,500 BP, or you can draw 1 card and place 1 card in your hand or your sideline. So it helps you either draw a card and try to dig, and as well as can get something very beefy for you. Very good, very good. And produces you 2 energy and is a Shadow Army. Affinity. And then that rounds out the 3-drops. So that is a total of 10 3-drops in the deck. Moving on to the 4-drops. Currently just running 2 of this Egress. Egress is a 4/2. Get, add a hand. It states, comes into play active, and then when played, play up to 1 Shadow Soldier from your hand or sideline set to resting on your field. So those 0 drops, you can get them out for free from the sideline and help you filter, find more things, and also can either give you energy or another blocker if you need it. Very, 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 very good card. And it's also 4K. Woohoo! And Shadow Army. Alright. Now this is where things got a little changed in our deck. I was originally running Biru, not anymore. And some ratios have changed, obviously, since. But let's go into the 5-drops of the deck. Currently, I'm running 3 of this 5-drop Sung Jin Woo. Boy, oh boy, is this card absolutely a godsend in this deck. Considering how I have it currently, this card is an absolute godsend. So let's just start reading some of its effects. It is a raid, so you can raid on top of a Sung Jin Woo. And then it has some very interesting effects. What it states is when played, this character gains this. Your opponent must block this character if able until the end of the turn. So it's a force block, 4K naturally, but it has these very interesting effects. When attacking, for every 5 cards in your sideline, this character gains 500 until the end of turn. And then when this character attacks and wins a battle, add up to 1 character with 2,000 or less BP other than Sung Jin Woo from your sideline to your hand. And for every 5 cards in your sideline, add 500 to the BP range of the character you may add to your hand from this ability. So that means if you have 5 or more cards in your sideline, so long as he wins, he's able to get back Egress. Kaisel, Tusk, Tank, Shadow Soldiers. The list goes on. And the more interesting aspect is, if this character has 6,000 or more, it gains impact. So even though, let's just say, he's done his thing for the 1 turn, so long as he is out, he can pitch. If they block him, you can grab a card. If they choose not to, well, guess what? He's probably going to do a damage to them. So, hallelujah. This card's absolutely good. It's a wonder for the deck. I don't know why I wasn't incorporating it to begin with, but now it's incorporated. Alright. Enough said about that. So that rounds out the 5-drops. There's 3. Alright, and the last unit of the deck is 4 12-drop Sung Jin Woo. Oh, man. This card's really, really, really good, everybody. It's the better Hajime Saito. For if you've been playing the game long enough and have played Rurouni Kenshin, Hajime Saito is the other deck that was really hyped up, and I think is still a pretty good deck to this day, but I believe this is just a better Hajime Saito. So what this card does is for each Shadow Army affinity card on your field, reduces cards required energy by 1, while anywhere other than in your field or on your hand, or in your sideline. So while they're on the field, they basically reduce them by 1 per. But then he's got a raid right on top of the Sung Jin Woo, impact 1. And then if on energy line, at the end of this character's attack, you may, at the end of one of your character's attack, you may swap this character with a Shadow Army affinity card on your front line. And then when played, choose the 1 Shadow Army affinity on your front line and 1 Shadow Army card, Shadow Army affinity card, and 1 Shadow Army on your front line and on the back line and the energy line, and switch them to active. And if you do, this character gains snipe until the end of turn. So you could essentially play a card out, comes in rested, card out on the back, it's rusted, raid him, he can switch them both to active. And he would gain snipe. And because he can swap, it's very good. So if you have a full field, essentially you can swing 5 times with him. Phenomenal. And he's a 5k with impact. That he doesn't lose that ever. Very, very, very good. Alright, that ends it out for the units. Or character units. Now let's move on to the sites. I'm running 3 of the Monarch's Domain. This card states, play this site set to active. Activate main, switch to resting. All Shadow Army Affinity cards on your field gain 500 BP until the end of turn. And if you have 5 or more Shadow Army Affinity cards on your front line, 1000 BP instead. So as I brought up with the, I think it was the Tusk, not Tusk, my bad. So many names that begin with the T. Iron. Because it states card with 2500 or less BP, doesn't state unit with 2500 or less BP. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when you rest this, it does give Iron the plus 500 as well as on top of this effect. Could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'd appreciate to have the answer to that if somebody has the answer to that. But it also generates you 2 energy and is Shadow Army. Phenomenal. Especially with the 12 drop, you activate this, restand it, activate it again, give everything plus another K. Phenomenal. And produces you 2 energies, so it's getting you there quicker, and is in the name, Shadow Army, so it lowers them down. Alright. Then moving on to the finals of or the specials of the deck. I am running 4 Shadow Monarch. Boy oh boy. The Recursion Nightmare, pretty much. So you get to choose one of the following. So it's special in life, so it just acts like a normal special in life, where you can choose any up to 1 character on your opponent's front line and sideline it. But while in the main deck, it is not a special, and that's another reason why I'm deciding to run 3 of the 5 drops, because it's a pseudo removal piece. So what this card does is you choose one of the following. Play up to 1 character of Shadow Army from your sideline set to active on your field. Or you may play up to 2 characters with 3 or less energy required and Shadow Army Affinity card from your sideline set to resting on your field. So either you can grab back like an Egress or something like that, which with the Egress, it comes into active. Then you can grab a Shadow Soldiers. Or you can just be like, oh, I really need the energy this turn, so I can go to the 12-drop Sun Jin Woo. Oh, okay, Shadow Monarch, let's go. I'm going to go back Kaisel and Tusk and just be able to do what I need to do. Phenomenal. Alright, and then the last card of the deck are 4 final. Arise. Basically what finals do, if you don't know already, is you get to choose 2 of your APs and switch them to active. So you spend 1 AP and then restand 2. And then if it's the last card in your life, you get to place the top card of your deck back into your life so you're not out of the game. Card is great. Alright. And with that being said, this is Kyle from the UI Playbook, signing out.